But like we talked about that As guy. Remember that when he goes, "Quit commandeering us."
Yeah.
Because you were allowed to pick like a trans person in a game or something.
You could pick your pronouns.
Yeah, you could choose your pronouns in a game. And what this guy didn't understand was this doesn't affect any of us at all in the least. It literally is the game extended a courtesy to people who are, yeah, sure, a little wonky, a little nuts, a little overbearing, a little obnoxious. But it's literally a courtesy they extended them. I've filled out shit in video games before that ask if I'm Mr. or Miss. I don't get pissed and I go, I have a cock. You don't ask if I'm a miss. Quit current yearing us. It's not something that affects me. But when we did that, they went, oh, man, don't say anything about As. Don't say anything about As, man. He has fans. Good. Call me an asshole then. I don't give a shit. Like, what are you going to do to me? Beat me up? Are you going to find me and give me a swirly? But they keep saying about these guys, like, oh, man, don't say shit about that guy. They fucking talk about comic books and video games all the time. I'm sorry for my lack of intimidation. So this Ryan Kinel guy, who's actually been in our chat before and kind of like shit on us, like was kind of a cunt. And this has nothing to do with that, by the way. Somebody posted a funny clip of him from a few months ago. And I really found it hilarious. I enjoyed it a lot. So apparently a few months ago, this trailer for the movie called Blue Beetle came out. Now,
oh yeah,
I don't know about you, Johnny, but when there's stuff that comes out that looks uninteresting to me,
I don't pay attention.
I just don't pay attention to it. I don't act like I'm fighting a grand crusade for the culture, because I don't think Blue Beetle is moving the needle at all. God forbid. I'm sorry. I probably just don't get it. But apparently there was a throwaway joke in this trailer where somebody called Batman a fascist. And comic book guys got fucking incensed about a joke calling Batman a fascist. Now,
well, when you grow up your whole life idolizing an imaginary character and you've got his symbol tattooed on your ass cheek and a bunch of his shirts, you don't like hearing that he's a bad guy and a meanie head.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it is. Queso Donkey says, Starfield is the game you're referring to. I literally thought about it for 2 seconds when asked in the game. It's so dumb. Yeah. That's it. And Kevin Brennan's wife's baggy meat sleeve echoes the point that I'm going to get to in a little bit. Batman literally is a fascist. And look, I love Batman. I think Batman's great in the context of he's a fictional character whose story I really enjoy. And he is a fascist. And you know what he is? He's a vent to, this is the beautiful thing about movies and stories is that they can appeal to a part of us that we maybe think didn't exist. And in Batman's case, he is all of our inner fascist. Batman is us going, God, if I could just take fucking criminals who get away with crime and shit and just beat the living dog piss out of them without a trial or anything else, that would be fucking great. Guess what? That makes you that's a fascist belief you have.
But he's not a fascist because ultimately he puts the criminals and he lets the cops arrest them. He's making sure that due process is served.
Without the authority to do so. He unilaterally decides who's guilty and who's innocent, and he beats the living dog shit out of them. Let me tell you this.
He's a rich white man and the other people are too stupid and poor.
So, I mean, yes, Batman absolutely is a fascist. And you know what? It's part of the fun. It's why I like Batman, because he's a fake fascist on a TV screen, and it's a bit of an escape. But this guy, so somebody, Vito from Dick Masterson's show. And look, man, I don't know this Ryan Kinel from Adam. I guess he doesn't like us very much. That's totally fine. I don't mind. I don't know the guy from Adam. I wish him all the best. I hope his show does well. I just thought it was funny that this guy went on a rant about how you can't call Batman a fascist. And I thought, look, you know that conversation we had about The Simpsons where if you just have the argument, you've lost?
Yeah, we're there again.
If you get pissed off about a trailer that called Batman a fascist, first of all, let's try to keep this in perspective. Number one, Batman isn't real. So we can sit here and go, Batman's a fascist, Batman isn't a fascist. Batman is also fictional.
Yeah, it's not like Robert Pattinson is going to be knocking on your door going, hey, man, you're calling me a fascist. What the fuck?
Yeah, could you fucking chill out? Val Kilmer, what are you doing here? Sorry, it sticks with me after all these years. But you have a lot bigger problems, dude. So Ryan Kinel, there was this clip that was posted on Twitter, and Vito retweeted it, and I thought it was hilarious. And then I went to see the clip today to use it for the show, and it got deleted. So I'm like, well, I'm glad. I ended up very happy that it got deleted because I found more rants from these comic book guys from a few months ago about this simple, it's a 2-second joke in the Blue Beetle trailer of one of the characters who I guess is an insufferable liberal cunt going, Batman's a fascist. And these people, Batman is so important to them that they couldn't tolerate this, not for a second. Now, God bless this man. He has 284,000 subscribers. He seems like he's doing wonderful. I hope he continues to make lots of money and do incredibly well. That being said, let's laugh at his take on a Batman joke.
They know a good way to push away the fans. New Blue Beetle trailer ends with George Lopez's Uncle Rudy saying, Batman's a fascist. And if you thought it was just a throwaway line, well,
Wait, time out. Stop. It was. I saw the trailer before this. The guy's literally just some hippie laying in bed going, somebody says, oh, it's like Batman. And the guy goes, Batman's a fascist. So he's like, hey, if you guys just think this is that's him trying to get out in front of people going, dude, you're being kind of a bitch about this.
You're kind of really chomping at something that isn't there.
You know what it is? These comic book guys have built these comic book YouTubers kind of built their careers on like, their whole thing is the wokies, the left, these progressives, they're bullshit. So like it's kind of the whole, if you're a hammer, the whole world's a nail thing. You got to find these little things and blow them up so you have a little grist for the mill, if you will.
Yeah. But I mean, this is also the same group of people where if Blue Beetle was a chick, they'd also really lose their shit.
Yeah, and put a chick in it, make it gay. When they put a chick in it and make it gay, Johnny, you know what I do?
I don't watch it.
I just don't watch the movie.
I do watch it.
See, but these rants, you just right, guys. If a woman superhero comes along, just whack off to her and call it a day. Maybe you won't be so stressed out. But when it comes to stuff like this, like it makes me believe that these people's outrage is as fake as the people they criticize. It feels like you're putting this on to rile people up, to drive the views and everything else. It's
because that's probably what it is.
And is it really Ryan Kinel's fault, or is it the internet's fault because that's what they like? That's what they click on. Ryan Kinel is not giving these people anything they don't want.
Right.
So
it's kind of the voting situation. You know, why do these politicians suck? I don't know, maybe because the people suck.
Right. Is my perspective on this and my approach, my belief in how we should approach these things, is it going to lead to a healthier society? 100%, I have zero doubt in my mind. Is the Ryan Kinel as approach going to just divide us more and make us pissed off, angry, hostile, and childish? Yes, 100%. But Johnny, the tribe has spoken. What do people want?
They want to pick a team and go to war.
They want the Ryan Kinel as opposed. I mean, Ryan Kinel has 250,000 subscribers. I'm barely over 10. The tribe has spoken. They don't want hey, that sounds reasonable. Just you go that way, and we'll all just enjoy art the way we want to. They want conflict, war. And then, unfortunately, these Ryan Kinel people have to live in a constant state of outrage while complaining that everyone else is too outraged about shit. It's a weird universe to occupy.
Actually already addressed this. Blue Beetle's Batman is a fascist line isn't just a throwaway joke. Can't wait to see how they delve into that. And I'm not going to pretend like the whole trailer was garbage or anything. I know some people said that. I think the trailer looks kind of mid. I don't think there's anything incredible about it. I really like Zola Maridueña. I think that I loved him in Cobra Kai as Miguel. And I was interested to see him as Jaime Reyes. And there is a cool part. There's a couple cool parts of this trailer, like what the suit can do. Check this out.
You can't imagine.
But here's my problem, Johnny. We're grown men.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's really cool what the suit can do. Check this out. It's not a sentence we should be saying.
Well, They've spent their whole lives going, oh, if only I could be magically linked up with a alien tech super suit to become a superhero. I'd be so happy. So now they're watching someone live their dream. I mean, just look at this. He's watching it, and I don't know, maybe it's because of the size on the screen. He kind of looks sad, like, I wish that was me.
That's my thing. Like, this thing has him so worked up and so angry. The Batman is a fascist line. It's like, just watch your movie. Like, just watch your movie and enjoy it.
I can create.
Let's party.
I mean,
Right, no offense. Looks gay. But I'm not going to...
It looks like an anime movie. I'm
Right.
sorry. That's... Yeah. They took everything that people liked about Iron Man, and they're like, hey, how can we steal from it and not do it blatantly?
This is the coolest movie for 7th graders. If you're in 7th grade and you think this is the coolest shit you've ever seen, bro, I get it. I got you.
come on. Like, this is pretty cool.
Nice choice.
I don't.
Okay, then maybe we don't let a throwaway Batman joke ruin it.
Okay, come on. This is pretty cool. If you're that entertained by this, then why are you worried about the other shit?
Isn't it funny? It's almost like he's arguing with himself.
Yeah. He's trying to be mad about it, but then part of him's like, well, if you just step back and look at it, with a fresh pair of eyes, maybe it has a chance.
Well, let's see when he gets to the Batman joke.
No, I don't mind that part. That's awesome. Seeing the capabilities and a little bit of stuff we've seen from other genres, not just DC Comics, obviously. But then this is where they decided to end the trailer with this line.
Did you see that? Did you see where his face went? He was so happy. He liked
enjoying himself.
He liked the tech and the Blue Beetle suit. I think that's wonderful. Enjoy your movie. Like your little film. It's gonna be fine. And then he goes, and then his face just turned sour. And he went, and this is where they decided to end it. Dude, you like the suit. Look at the suit. The movie's going to be about the suit. It's not going to be about the fascist Batman thing. And it's also a DC movie, so DC is poking fun at themselves.
Which is one of the reasons why you should be in favor of this, because not being able to take themselves seriously, or taking themselves too seriously, I should say, excuse me, is why Marvel is taking a huge shit.
Right.
Like they can't poke fun at themselves. They can't, like, they're like, no, we got to put 3 chicks in it, make it a super femme squad. And it's like, yeah, but you can't make fun of the fact that, like,
yeah. Meanwhile, one of the biggest money makers is Deadpool, and there's all kinds of shitting on Marvel references. He refers to Brolin as Thanos and all this other shit. It's fun.
Half of the fun of Deadpool is his breaking of the fourth wall and being like, hey, you know all this shit that a lot of us think when we watch these movies? I'm going to say it to you. That's why people love the character.
It's like Batman stuff. Batman's a fascist. I just want to rap.
That's it. That's all it was. Now, am I the dick? Yes, of course. Am I the dick for saying maybe these grown comic book men with YouTube channels are maybe being a little too sensitive? And which is fine. You're allowed to be. Nerds have been sensitive for a long time. Dorks are the most sensitive people in the world. But they got into this space where they insisted on being seen as cool, like people who talk about football and MMA and shit like that. You guys aren't. You have to pick a lane. Either you're a fucking dweeb and you talk about dweeb shit all day and you get worked up about dork shit, which is fine. There is nothing wrong with that. That's a great lane to occupy. You'll make a lot of money. But you can't sit there and go, dude, everyone else is so triggered over this movie and the libs are so blah, 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 this and that. You don't then get to spurg out over a 1.5 second line about Batman in a movie trailer.
Plus, you don't get to act like you're that alpha male. You know what you're like, at least with like the MMA stuff, if the people talking it start being about it, they're getting in a ring, they're fighting, they're training, whatever.
Right.
If you stop talking it and start being about it, well, let's go to a store and stand in a dark corner.
Right.
Flip.
I mean,
Flip.
I just, there's something about, and I'm starting to feel this way about people who identify as right-wing in general. I can't watch these people anymore do the same exact thing that they rail against and claim to hate and not call it out. Like, you guys, I've said this a long time about right-leaning people. you're just as sensitive as the people you bitch about. You're just sensitive about the opposite shit.
Yeah.
Like, why you guys can't understand each other when you're the opposite sides of the same coin. It's like Democrats and Republicans. It's all one corporation. You guys are all outrage merchants. You guys all deal in the same thing. Anger and hostility towards the other, towards the thing that's different. Whereas normal people, the touch grass people, go, it doesn't look good. I don't think I'll watch it. And maybe they'll make a joke about it. They'll make fun of it. But
I'll be honest, I'm enough of a nerd where I'm like, the special effects look cool. I'll give it a look if it's free.
Right,
if it's
exactly.
like there.
Yeah.
Batman's a fascist. Now, it's just a joke from George Lopez, right? But
Yeah.
one, what the fuck is he talking about? Nobody in this world knows anything about Batman. They don't know who he is. They don't even realize he exists. Most people don't even think he's a real person. So
He's not.
No,
I know
but
he's talking. I know he's talking about the movie, but it's just so funny. He's hopping up and down in his chair, and it's like, bro, the meta thing about this, he's not a real.
You're
person.
doing the same thing.
Right.
He's not real. A lot of them don't even think he's real. They think it's an urban legend. I mean, they wouldn't be like, Batman's a fascist. You realize you having this argument is the same as them.
Well, he's like, in the movie universe, they don't even think Batman's real. They're not even Batman. I'm going to tell you something that my mother, father, aunts, and uncles told me when I was 7. It's just a movie. It's just a movie. They can reference Superman. They can reference Caligula. They can reference fucking Julius Caesar if they want to. It's a cocksucking movie. All right?
Dude, Deadpool literally references Marvel and DC. There's talk of Grant Gustin doing like a cameo as the Flash or something in the movie. So,
and this, again, for people who, like, I'm obviously not swaying, and when we put this up as a clip, I'm not convincing them of anything. I'm not shitting on your boy. I'm not saying he's a piece of shit. I'm not these people. I'm not the people who get angry and mad. I think this is funny. As the British say, I'm taking the piss out of the guy. I don't think he's bad. I know he's very uptight. He's very sensitive, or I hope it's just a character. But I think it's funny, and I hope he can look back at this one day and go, oh, I probably should have fucking chilled. Do you know how many moments on this show where people clip it, and I look back at it, and I go, that was really kind of a cunt back there. You know?
yeah, I really kind of came out of the left field swinging.
Yeah. I mean, how many times have I done that literally right after the rant on the show where I'm like, Johnny, I was being kind of cunty back there, wasn't I? I'm like, yeah, a little bit.
It happens.
You were a little cunty. And that's the
That's
thing.
why we have the HR department.
These video game and comic book guys, they're like the kings of doubling down. You know, they take this shit so seriously that if you like just poke fun at a reaction they had, they're like, no, I have to defend it because I'm fighting for the culture and the thing and the stuff. And that, no, you're not. You like a movie. These other people don't like your movie. It's okay.
This is why you need to have your own things. Like, too many people have this is my one thing and this is what I hold on to. It's like, yes, but then when you lose that one thing, you have nothing. You got to have other stuff. You can't, no, man, comic books are my thing and I'm very passionate about it. Right. But what happens if comic books become a world you don't like anymore?
Right. That's like being a sports fan is a good example. Like, if you follow 4 or 5 different teams in 4 or 5 different sports, you've always got something to look forward to. You know, it's not like the Vikings fucking suck. This is horse shit. You're like, well, no, first of all, it's just a game. No big deal. Second of all, the Gophers will play. The Timberwolves will play. The Wild will play. The Twins will play. There might be
but they're all Minnesota teams. They fucking suck.
Terrible example, right? There might be a fight on this weekend. All kinds of stuff. All right, so let's watch the hostility build over the, again, 1.5-minute Batman joke.
The idea that they would throw that line in there tells you who they're listening to, who they're pandering to. They're pandering to, as I put earlier on the reaction we did for Geeks and Gamers, to a new audience. A new audience that in all reality doesn't exist, that don't buy comic books. That's who that is for.
Yeah, a bunch of fucking freaks and weirdos and losers. Don't buy comic books and don't... Guess what? Most of the people... You can't have it both ways. You can't say that you love that these movies are popular and then shit on it for not having stuff for comic book fans. You know who are the people who made these movies profitable?
Not comic book fans.
People who have never picked up a comic book in their fucking life. And you should be thrilled about that because it made people like me who like these movies actually not read the comics, but read about the comics and learn about some of the lore and shit like that. But these people are so autistic that they don't even like that part. Bunch of fucking posers, bunch of goddamn carpetbaggers coming into our comic books. Fuck you. Like, you guys wonder why your shit doesn't get more respect. It's not the art form. It's you guys.
Yeah, the community's a dick. And it's the same with games, too. Gamers and gaming communities are notoriously dickish and unwelcoming to new people. And so as a result, it's just like, oh, we like everyone to be about our thing, but we're going to shit on you if you come in here. It's
right.
Like, it's conflicting.
I compare it again to sports fans. If we see a person from the other team wearing another jersey, we're not like, you fucking libtard, you piece of shit. We tease each other about each other's teams. It's good-natured. It's fun, whatever. Maybe we get drunk and have a fist fight, but we apologize afterwards. But no, this stuff is just like, it's impossible to keep these people happy. Again, because their channels and their image grew on anger, on rage. So if they did a trailer talking about how much they liked something and how good it was and gushed about all this stuff, not as many people would watch it as if you went on a 5-minute rant about a fucking Batman is a fascist joke.
And it almost seems like maybe they put it in there just to piss off some people. And in fact, the reality...
No, you did that yourself.
Yeah. You pissed off yourself.
You pissed off yourself. They didn't do that going, oh, man, I bet you Ryan Kinel, his tats will bubble. Like, no, they did it because they thought it would be funny in the movie. And do you know why the Batman is a fascist line is funny? We've talked about it before.
He kind of is a fascist.
He's kind of a fascist. In a cool way. I love Batman. I think Batman's great.
He's the people's fascist.
He's the people's fascist. What's your what's your lawyer's name? Well, my lawyer's name. It doesn't matter what your lawyer's name is. He's the people's fascist. He doesn't give a fuck about amendments 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. He will fucking destroy you with no due process. He's totally a fascist. He's the jackbooted thug of the jackbooted thugs. If the cops are the jackbooted thug of the state, Batman is the more jackbooted thug of the jackbooted thugs. So, but he's jackbooting other thugs. So we like him.
Action from the director himself would tend to indicate that, because the directors actually responded very directly, no pun intended, to something that I said. A lot of people were very up in arms at my reaction over the Batman is a fascist line. George Lopez saying Batman is a fascist has this motherfucker riled up.
Right.
I need more lines like that from the movie if they're freaking out like this.
Okay, this isn't the win you thought it was, Ryan. This is
That's him saying it's getting more attention for the movie and it'll make the box office bigger because you're dumb.
They're also teasing you for losing your shit over a throwaway line. They're saying, oh, this Batman is a fascist, has this motherfucker riled up. Okay, where's the lie? Where's that guy lying? And then he's saying...
And where does that prove that it's more than a throwaway line? Because that's what we were at here.
He's literally...
Show us.
Yeah, he's making fun of you.
May as well play this. This is my reaction earlier.
At the end, the Batman is fascist at the end is just, this is pandering to these stupid fucking 20-year-old furry profile picture, she, them, don't know what your fucking gender is, don't buy comics, don't have money to go to movies. That's who that fucking shit is pandering to. Batman is a fascist. Fuck off with that. That's so...
So what did you guys think of the trailer for the little kids comic book movie?
Buddy, it's just a joke. You can move on.
Hey, Ryan, real quick, before I go, knock, knock. Who fucking knocks at the door? We have Ring doorbell cameras now. Knocking is intrusive.
So wait a minute. Why is it...
Or orange, you glad I didn't say banana? Sorry.
So wait a minute. Did he lose his shit and trash his studio?
What do you mean?
Because that's the before. That's the after. Why is his wall completely blank?
I don't. He lost his mind and he
just starts throwing his shit.
He just turned it into a rubber room because Blue Beetle pissed him off so bad.
Stupid.
And that was a lot of people's reaction to that line being thrown in there at the end. Well, someone decided to reply, Angel Manuel Soto, laughing emojis, well, my job's done. This is the director. This is the director for Blue Beetle.
Yeah, he's making fun of you.
His job is to generate buzz about the movie. Guess what you're doing right now?
Yeah, a guy with 200 some odd thousand subs went on a giant rant about Blue Beetle, which, by the way,
why we're talking about it.
I've never heard of it, Ryan. And I'm the majority. Like, I'm most moviegoers. I don't read comics. If I play video games, I play Bannerlord and Madden. Those are the only 2 video games I play. I'm a very very low level into any kind of games. And I'm the majority of people who will go watch this shit. If he got you all riled up and it got people talking, that is a good thing. Another thing, Ryan, there's no way you're an amateur. Don't read your fucking replies and get worked up about them. It's fucking Twitter. Just everybody relax.
He idolizes cartoon characters in books. I guess telling him about definitions between reality and might not be good.
I guess you're right.
It's funny that you think that pissing off people who clearly, where this joke is coming from, this complete ignorance of the character of Batman, and that you've told us already, that some of the stars have told us that it's not just a throwaway line, it's really how they feel and how these characters feel about these different superheroes in the universe.
I have to admit this. And this is actually more frightening to me. He's not putting on an outrage thing. He's literally bouncing up and down like he's a popping popcorn kernel.
This is bothering him.
Don't do that. Like, I actually kind of feel bad for this guy where I'm like, don't let this be the way you live your life. Don't let this shit get to you so much.
Have you ever seen that they do a multiple, Ryan, have you ever seen they do multiple Batmans? I mean, you ever notice they kind of redo it? They kind of shape things. How about we just this is flexible, and maybe sometimes they do one I don't like.
Right. Yeah, you're allowed to not like the movie, and it's not the wokies ruining my movies. But my movies. But my superheroes. I mean, I'm giving these guys a lot of leeway for being this passionate about Batman into their 40s. I'm letting that go.
I mean, we did lose our shit about the Ghostbusters thing.
But did we?
Well, you did.
Did I really? Because I feel like with the Ghostbusters thing, I more went, well, this is going to be shit.
Well, we agreed it was going to be shit, but I feel like we did get a little passionate about the Ghostbusters thing.
Well, then you know what? Again, I'm a cunt when it comes to Ghostbusters. But that's the difference. I can look at you in the eye when you say that, and I can go, Johnny?
Then I'm a cunt.
I'm a cunt about Ghostbusters, and nobody should take me seriously when I get upset over a fucking Ghostbusters movie.
Well, the point I was going to make, though, is this is a different thing. They're not redoing Batman and calling Batman a fascist. They're making a different character and using that character's universe to paint a different image. So this is literally one of like, oh, you don't like that Batman's a fascist? Then don't go see the movie.
Right. Oh, Ryan, if you don't like that guy that made a throwaway joke calling Batman a fascist, you're going to hate this Bane fella. He actually goes and breaks Batman's back. What a dick.
Right? It's funny that you're laughing at that now. I wonder if you're going to be laughing if this movie flops at the box office. If all the fans that you could have had, instead you decided not to have those fans and pander to a group of people that clearly have shown they will not show up. Again, just like I said in that little...
And then we're probably going way too long with this clip. Here's my point. If you're going to be a fan of this shit, you can't get so worked up when someone makes a joke about the comic book guy, about the man in the moving pictures.
The guy who pretends he's a bat.
Right. And again, let's make sure that we clarify this again. Batman 100% is a fascist, and it's totally fine.
And plus, pandering to the furry community, I mean, the guy does think he's a bat. It's really why haven't
That's
they
true.
thought
I mean,
before
I don't mean to upset the Geeks and Gamers crew, but Batman is technically a furry.
Yeah, I mean, technically him and Catwoman, that is yiffing. That is yiffing all day.
Batman and Catwoman are yiffing, and Batman is a yiffing fascist furry. There you go. Make the Blue Beetle sequel. Perfect. And I'll be honest, I've never heard of Blue Beetle before. Comics, movies, nothing. Now I know. Kevin
Sounds stupid.
Kevin, yeah, it sounds really liberal and gay, bro. Batman is literally a fascist, people are writing. Yeah. Now, some people say he's a vigilante, not a fascist.
Well, that's that, but then you're splitting hairs. I mean, a vigilante is literally just a fascist that doesn't go too far, has some sort of like personal code of conduct. But if that code isn't something you're comfortable with, how's that not fascism?
Also, and if I may, while we're having this Batman as a fascist argument, may I also posit this argument? Still just a movie.
Still just
a guy trying to entertain you for a few bucks.